guys, it's your boy Caleb from Caleb Hot's Takes, or you guys may know me as Caleb the Artist. I'm so excited to be starting this channel and doing something new. I thought, why not do it? I love reality TV and specifically the Housewives, and I feel like I'm a housewife connoisseur, enthusiast. Like, I know all things Housewives. But no, if this is your first time here, hey, you guys, hopefully we can become family and you guys remember me. But today's episode is going to be about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. Guys, it's been a well overdue just waiting on them and trying to see what Bravo is going to do with this new season after the shakeup was announced after season 15. Now, speaking about season 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, it was definitely an interesting season to me. At certain points, it was confusing as well because it just didn't have that same nostalgic or feeling of what we know The Real Housewives of Atlanta to be. But it was definitely entertaining. Of course, Marlo, I love. Let me start by saying this. I love all the girls. Isn't that what Carlos Carlos King says? Like, I really do. I love all the girls, and um, I don't feel a way about any of them. But a lot of the fans said a lot of things about Marlo declassing the show. Shout out to Nene Leaks. But they said a lot of things about like Marlo declassing the show or Sheree wasn't clocking in giving what she needed to give. Or even Sanya. Like Sanya, I feel like Sanya had such a compelling story, but Sanya never stuck, if you know what I mean. Like she never stuck to for me. But I really enjoyed her family. I felt like her family dynamic was very interesting. And I also felt like she had a compelling story, but it's just something about it just didn't stick. Sorry guys, if you hear anything in the background, that is people cutting grass. So I apologize. But of course Candy is gonna give whatever she can. Candy comes to work. And that's one thing that I love about Candy is, and a lot of people, they can say, oh, she's boring or her story has ran dry. And I feel like for me, I adore her because she's such an amazing businesswoman. Like, she's such an entrepreneur, and I look up to her a lot when it comes to Candy. Um, but a lot of people said, her story ran dry. There was nothing else for her to tell. And I wouldn't say I agree with that because I feel like there's always more to be told. Like, look at now. She's back on tour with Escape. Yes, she talked about it. And yeah, we seen it on like SWV Escape show and the Escape show that they had outside of um, SWV. But I feel like Candy was she's I don't know. Some people may say she's not a heavy hitter. I feel like even if she's not, she comes to work, and that's what I love about Candy. Now, Drew, I love. Now I've grown to love Drew. Of course, I've loved everything she's done outside of the Housewives, like her acting and stuff like that. She's an amazing actress. But when she first came on, and I feel like that's like with all of the newbies, when they first come on, it's a sense of trying to just figure out who is this person, and how do they fit in this group that we have grown to love, right? So with Drew, when she first came in, it was kind of like, okay, like, of course I know her face, and I love the rawness and the transparency from Drew, and some people may call some people like to call Drew a liar and stuff like that. I don't really care about things like that. I don't really try to think about it. I'll try to like judge, not really judge, but get to know them as a person, from what we see for 5 minutes, 7, 10 minutes on the screen. I just loved her rawness and the emotion she showed when she first came on, talking about like when Ralph left for Florida, and that was just something that you wouldn't expect newly a newbie. I was about to say a new housewife, but yeah, a new housewife or a newbie to really talk about, you know? So I always felt like that was very compelling. And then for the story to go about like the way it did, especially last season with her filing for divorce and just seeing how Ralph treats her, it was kind of like, yeah, her spot is definitely solidified. But and Kenya always gives what she needs to give. Like, I live for Miss Kenya Moore hair care. Now, if you guys remember, this article is also from the lovely, lovely B. Scott. But if you guys remember back in February, if I'm not mistaken, it was announced that the Real Housewives of Atlanta was getting a reboot. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. I was devastated. Like, I was worried. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how the show was going to end up. I didn't know who they were going to bring it back, who they were going to bring back, and it was such a feeling like, wow, like this show is really going somewhere that I never thought that it would, you know? And so they announced the hiatus, they announced the reboot, and we all were just waiting to see what's going on. Like, who are they going to bring back? Who are they not going to bring back? What new girls are coming? Or if they were going to bring any new girls. And then, baby, boom. They gagged us. They said, oh, y'all been talking ish. Let me show y'all something. Baby, Portia Gubadia, Portia Williams, honey. The one and the only, Miss Portia. She announced, honey, I'm back. And I was living for every moment of this. Like, I love Portia. I love Portia. I love Portia. And after seeing her on Real Ultimate Girls Trip, it was like, yeah, this is the girl that we need back on our screens, and we miss her, and I've missed her. So when they announced that, I was like, yes, honey, y'all are heading in the right direction, honey. And what I thought it was also cool is not only did she sign a 2-year contract for 2 seasons with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she also signed an overall scripted talent deal with NBC Universal. And I thought that was an amazing business move. Like, it's things like that where, for like up and coming entrepreneurs like me, I love that. I'm gone with the wind, fabulous. 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 Now twirl, 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 twirl.
I may be gone with the wind, fabulous, but I'm not going anywhere.
Now, when this announcement and that video was dropped, I was ultimately like just blown away. I was like, yes, okay, yeah, bravo, you guys know what you're doing. You guys are heading in the right direction. Like, Portia and Kenya, oh, yes, yes, yes. I was living for that. Like, I was loving this. And even Kenya, I love Kenya. She's an amazing mom, amazing businesswoman. But I just thought this would be like, I feel like this is how you announce the cast for next season. Like, that's all I needed was Kenya and Portia. So shortly after that, I want to say maybe a month or if not a couple of weeks after Kenya's announcement, it was announced that we have new girls. The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 cast will be Portia, Kenya, Drew, and also joined by Brittany, Kelly, Shamia, and Angela, and also Cynthia popping in as a friend. Now, when they first announced it, I honestly was like, who is these girls, child? Who are y'all? Okay, I'm not even lying. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like, of course, we know Shamia. Shamia been has been on the show for a while. So I was kind of excited to see Shamia because I always felt like Shamia had an interesting story. Especially when she first started talking about her ex and then her basically finding her Prince Charming. And shit, we want to see the lavish lifestyle of an African wife. Like, we want to know. I want to see the cars and the houses, honey. So I thought it was amazing that they gave Shamia a peach. Now the other girls, I didn't know what to feel. Like I didn't know how to feel, to be honest. I just didn't. Um, but I was still open to it. It's like, okay. They have said they were going to shake things up. They shook things up, so I can't be too mad.
First of all, we all know that Kenya is back. Yes, Kenya. Round of applause. I don't know if I'm gonna be taking that clap back, but right now I am. Right now I'm clapping for her. No, I'm joking. My hopes for Kenya and I is that we can, spark a brand new fun relationship.
So, like I said before, I was really excited to see this newfound relationship with Kenya and Portia. Like, I felt like a lot of time had been passed by to where, um, they just didn't have any bad blood. They have had a past issues in the past. I'm sorry, but it felt great to get a new sense of sisterhood.
Yeah, she is still Kenya, honey. Okay, she is very much. I don't want to give away too much, but she is. Yeah, how do you do when you go? You gotta gather. Yeah, she's gathering. Not me, but she's definitely gathering around here.
Now, when this video dropped, well, this Amazon Live, because this is actually from Portia's Amazon Live. Um, when this dropped, I said, "Oh yes, this is what we need. This is what we need." They are. It's giving like sisters. Like they're together. They're trying to figure each other out, trying to feel where each other are at, but Portia solidifying and putting it out there that Kenya was gathering the girls. That's when I knew, oh shit is about to break loose. Cause you got the new girl. The people on Twitter are really not living for the new girls. Like they're saying it's giving Love and Hip Hop, it's giving Zeus Network. The new girls are giving that. And I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't say that I thought the same thing, but it was just something about this Kelly girl that wasn't really sitting right with me. I don't know. So timeline wise, around this point, this would be a few weeks into filming, if not maybe a month, and it's the grand opening of Kenya's hair spa.
Superstars. Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore.
Now this right here, I loved every bit of it. It just gave such a warm feeling to just see Kenya embracing Portia, Portia embracing Kenya, them all getting together, celebrating Kenya and her monumental moment of opening her hair spa. Like I felt like that's such a huge moment for her, being that Kenya Moore Hair Care has been going on for a few years, and for her to step into this new lane of beauty even deeper, it was it's inspiring, and I definitely love that for Kenya. But at this event, this is where things take a huge turn for the season 16. Well, I actually remember the date that all of this was announced, and it was such a shocker. Like, I did not want to believe it. I did not believe it. And there was just so many stories going around. Like, at first, it was like, somebody got threatened with a gun, and somebody cursed out someone, and then it was actually updated that Brittany was actually not in attendance, which is the lady who Kenya got into an altercation with. In this article right here from the Bravo Shade Room, it says that Brittany was not in attendance at Kenya's event and she did not threaten Kenya with a gun. So there was a lot of different stories that was going on at that moment, and it was hard to believe. Like, I just didn't want to believe that Kenya would do something like this. But it then came out that at this party, Kenya revealed a shocking poster board of Miss Britt Edie. And I was like, I just didn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I just didn't want to believe that Kenya would do something like that. I didn't want to believe it, and I still, I still don't want to believe it. Um, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to believe it until there's like evidence or there's videos or someone posts something about this event showing proof that this happened. And then you are paying for all Brittany does escort. There's an IG who put her emails out on that. She charges $1,400 for appointment. You not only a hoe, you a chick. You are a chick. You all cover the magazines, being a star, you cover the magazines. You all of those hoes, okay? You over here on Snapchat. Your daddy was like Snapchat me that pussy. And then the audio surfaced. And I'm like, it's still, we know Kenya is a word wizard and she reads the girls down. So I'm like, okay, she is saying some stuff, but it's still not solid evidence that she actually put it on a poster board, explicit things about Britt Edie. And then the physical evidence pops up. We have a poster board that's not an explicit picture, allegedly, but it does say insurance fraud hoe. Now, I was kind of like, wow. Like, I just wouldn't have thought Kenya would have done something like this at an opening for something so important to her, you know? And it was a shocker. It was like, okay, Kenya, we know. Well, I know, Kenya pushes the boundaries and, which is good for the show. We don't want anybody that's just going to be quiet and sit there and be prim and proper. Um, I just thought that would have happened at a scene separate from the opening of her hair spa. And then I want to say either a day or two after all of these headlines come out, Kenya gets on live and just explains herself and kind of just gives us a rundown. Well, not really a rundown, but she pretty much, expressing her love for all of her supporters, letting us know that she's not going anywhere. So that's the only conflicting thing that was really like, okay, what's really going on? Because you had headlines saying, okay, she was suspended indefinitely. Then you said some were saying that she was fired. And then she gets on live and says that she's not going anywhere. So it was just a bunch of just like, what's going on? We don't know what's going on. And then a lot of fans were coming to Kenya's defense saying like, okay, they were giving like certain different examples. Like one that I can pull up right now is from Nip Tuck Johnny on Twitter. And he says, didn't the Jersey husbands play Danielle's porn on camera while laughing like schoolgirls? What the F is the double standard? So they were all just giving examples of like things that has happened in the past on Bravo and how they've let it slide, and they're like, okay, so what's the difference now? Like, why is it a problem now? But what I can say is times are changing and cancel culture is something that's big, so it can be one small thing that you accidentally did and you weren't really thinking about it, and it results in you being canceled, and it results like you being off a show. So I feel like rules are changing. We're in a new time period, in a new what's the word? Not atmosphere, but we're in a new point when it comes to the culture, pop culture, reality TV, and where some things are probably just not going to be allowed anymore. And then this drops the web a few days after, and it broke my heart. You know, I love Kenya. I think Kenya brings a whole different flavor and has brought a whole different flavor to the show since she's came on. And it was just kind of heartbreaking. It's like to not have Kenya there, it's like it's gonna be a missing piece. And like Dr. Heavenly says, we never really know what's true and what's not. We'll just have to wait till the season premieres to see what's happening and what has happened. But I kind of felt like this is a sad situation. You know, Kenya has pretty much, carried the Real Housewives of Atlanta since Nene has left, and it's just so sad to see that this is what it's come to. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still optimistic about it. I'm still trying to be open. But this is where I'm going to leave this video. This is an update of what has happened so far with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And next video, I will definitely give more and more details. We'll be talking more about what has happened since the departure of Kenya. But I want to appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I see you guys next time. Bye.